Dance of Urgency is an exhibition that is initiated by my ongoing research into club culture as a space or as a culture that has potential to transform, empower, and act as political body when necessary. The idea is to define the term dance of urgency that somehow does not exist in the definition of dances or in what the dances by function could be. The exhibition is proposing this definition that it's a dance that comes in times of personal collective crisis, that is temporary, and that by looking into dance floors we can actually kind of extract certain knowledge but also predict certain political and social changes. So by watching the crowd, we can actually elaborate and know what this crowd is dancing for or dancing against, or what these individuals and groups are trying to communicate with this dance. Because dance, indeed, it's a communication tool, it's a non-verbal communication, it has been there for centuries, since ever, and still we tend to look at it very superficially. The exhibition tries to bring back this idea of a dance as a transformative, powerful tool. The exhibition is initiated by my ongoing research. That is now also my PhD at the Angewandte. So it's titled I Dance Alone, which of course in itself it's quite challenging title because, dancing alone, why? Why not with the others? When do you dance with the others? So by filming the crowd from a bird's eye view, I started understanding better the differences between the dance floor and the differences of dances. Some are purely erotic, some are kind of entertainment or participatory, and some really have this slight and right dose of activism and spiritualism coming together. And I'm interested in those, especially in time of collective crisis, basically. Speaking of political dances, a few years ago, or actually for the whole decade since I moved from Belgrade to Amsterdam, was almost impossible. Like a dance floor was always understood as something funny and, a bunch of people getting wasted. The term trancing is not included any longer in vocabulary, so I really became obsessed with finding those dance floors that are resembling the values that I stand for, or that really actually have this almost science fictional element of something is going on and we can't explain it. I started looking into places outside of Europe, like Sao Paulo in Brazil. The dance floor that I really enjoyed was Party Mamba Negra, which is actually a collective that really stands for the rights of LGBT community, but also female empowerment and all kinds of ethnicities and races. This dance floor really resonated somehow differently than what I could sense in Europe. Then Georgia, Bassiani, everybody knows already that they managed to gather people to dance for 2 days in front of Parliament as a kind of statement against social political oppression and also for change of drug regulations. What was somehow also fascinating is that, Europe is always this sort of self-focused, ego-boosted, well-behaved, properly accommodated space. And indeed, it has very particular values, but in order to maintain those values, we also ignore a lot what's going on around. So it was sort of very inspiring for me to see that what happened in Georgia brought back the values to Europe. If you think of Berlin's scene from 90s, this scene does not resonate or exist anymore in Berlin. So somehow it sort of mutated, transformed, it lost its focus as well. And it was really nice to have Georgians dancing in front of Parliament, inspiring anti-fascist protests somehow in Berlin just a week later, where 70,000 people were gathered thanks to reclaimed club culture. You could say that I actually managed to kind of document the movement or predict the movement, and I think the exhibition looks deeply into these different shapes and forms and bodies that exist today. So activism, spiritualism, and trying to somehow write it down and understand it better, yeah.